Well, you guys, I have seriously been goofing off all day, and I have an enormous amount of work to do. Well, it's just painting, and I love painting, so it's not really a lot of work. I got stuck on this last business, looking at all these blind people. Well, these guys are literally blind. This is crazy. But looking at this one here, with the mud in the eyes and the business, this is this is also a parable, okay? This is how Jesus winds up taking care of the blindness, okay? And we know that the blind is that God has made us blind to the truth. And all that we can see with these two eyes of ours is lies. And that all we look around, we see in the church, we see people eating Christ. You know, we see people crying and following after Christ in different ways of the cross and stuff like that, and going to church on Sundays and stuff, and hearing these wonderful stories of what Christ does for us and has done. And one of the biggest things that he does is to open the eyes of the blind. Well, must have been a whole lot of blind people back then. I mean, lots and lots, because it's like the biggest thing. And to think that, that this is part of God's slumber is that he closes our eyes. It makes it hard for us to see or hear anything that's truthful. And so when they are asked, he says, was it his sins that made him blind? And Jesus says, because he's born with it, the man that's born from the blind, born this way. This also sheds lights on, was it his father's? Maybe it was the sins of his father, which is a type of karma, that you've taken on the sins of the father. The sins of the father in this case, not in this case, but in most cases, is that the father doesn't go and honor mother and father, and the father doesn't also walk the way of Christ. Father represents the lower mind, and the lower mind is not responsible for following God's law. That's what it says. It says that the carnal mind is not susceptible to the laws of God. The lower mind. All right. But the lower mind represents earth. And so here we are putting dirt on the guy's eyeballs, and tells him to go and to dip into the which one is it? This one here. The River Jordan, maybe, but he's supposed to go and dip into it 3 or 7 times. This will do this to him. But I'm not so sure, because they get these all mixed up a lot, because it says go and do no more, But a lot of times this idea of Jesus, this energy of the spirit mixing himself. This is the spittle that he mixes himself with the earth itself. All right, so this is the water side and the earth side mixing to be able to raise this guy's sight to where he can see. All right, and so he takes this spittle and rubs it across his face. He tells his disciples, he says, none of that was true. None of it. It was the world around him that made him blind. And so all he had to do is this is a type of a cleansing, so that he can now see and go and sin no more. So he's putting the two together. He mixed the sand and the dirt, or the water and the dirt together. He mixed the two together. That's what we want. We want the mother and father to be brought together. We don't want this division anymore. We don't want to be broken anymore. We want to be made whole. And we really want to know what God has to say, especially when we find out once our eyes are opened, all those things we thought God said. That's the part that freaks us out. But then, just like it goes, they say that, the birth pains of they only last for so long before you start saying, I understand now. I understand what it means when you're blind in the Bible. It's also about being poor, being disconnected, not being able to see God, and not allowing this light inside of you free to go and do God's work. It's absolutely seamless, this Bible of ours, so far. The only glitch that we've gotten so far of it is one of the scriptures calling the Holy Ghost a he, all right? But it doesn't take much for a scribe to lose an S out of all of these words that make up the Bible. Yeah, she may not have a penis on her, but she does have a S in front of the he. All right? Hope you got something out of this. I'll talk with you soon.